If you're a federal employee with less than 5 years of service, you might be wondering what options you have during a reduction in force. Like, how does all of this really work for you? Today's episode is going to cover just that. Hi, I'm Kowalik of ProFeds, and welcome to the Fed Impact Podcast, where we offer candid insights on your federal retirement. So let's talk about options. First, if you have not met at least 5 years of federal service, there is no pension for you. I want to be very clear and upfront right out of the gate. There will be no pension. Okay, you need to have at least 5 years to be vested for a federal pension. However, the money that you have contributed to FERS, I'm not talking about TSP, but what you have contributed each and every pay period into the FERS program can be refunded to you. Okay, so you'll use a special form called the SF-3106. That is where you will request a refund of your FERS contributions. Those are the contributions you made to the pension fund. Your agency also makes contributions to that fund. But when you get a refund, it is only your money that you are getting back. It's not your agency's money. Okay? Now, if you take a refund of that money and you leave federal service and then later return, you have a couple of options. You are not required to pay that money back, but the original service that you had that you got refunded to you will not count for eligibility purposes or in the calculation of your pension. So really, really important that you understand what the ramifications are. The good news is you're at least able to put it back. That rule actually changed not all that long ago, that it used to be once you took a refund, you were never, ever allowed to put that money back in under FERS. That is no longer the case. And so you have a lot of flexibility in what it is that you choose to do. Again, there's no inherent benefit to leaving the money in there. You might as well take it. And just know if you keep it in a safe spot, if you ever return back to government service, you're able to redeposit that money back in the account. So if there's no pension, what can be paid? Surely there's something. The government doesn't just give you a pink slip. Well, there are two programs that you may find yourself eligible for and that your agency is putting out there with respect to their RIF'ed policy. The first is to voluntarily try to get you to leave. They can offer a VSIP. This is the Voluntary Separation Incentive Payment, better known as a cash buyout. Most agencies have a $25,000 limit. The Department of Defense has a $40,000 limit. Now, there's some talks about making everyone $40,000, but as of right now, we're still looking at most agencies being at that $25,000 limit. Now, the VSIP can be offered all by itself, but it can also be offered in conjunction with the early out. Now, given the fact that you have less than 5 years of service, there isn't an early out component for you. So I'm not going to go into the details of an early out. But for you, if you have at least 3 years of federal service, but you don't quite have 5 to be fully vested for a pension, so you're within that 3 to 5 year window, you now have the opportunity to get a cash buyout to sweeten the deal, at least on your way out. Okay. So with a VSIP, the V in VSIP stands for voluntary. So this cash buyout or this cash incentive is designed to entice people who are maybe on the fence to get them to voluntarily go before they move into the involuntary dismissals or layoffs of the federal workforce. If you qualify for a VSIP, meaning you've got the right number of years and your agency offers it, this would be a lump sum payment to you. Again, $25,000 to $40,000, but keep in mind taxes are going to be due out of that money. And because you're taking a voluntary separation, you will not have severance pay. Severance pay is reserved for those people who are involuntarily removed from their position versus voluntarily moved. So just want to make sure you realize you will not get both the VSIP and severance pay. But let's talk about severance pay because maybe your agency doesn't offer the VSIP and this is the last resort. Severance pay is for an involuntary removal from your government position. There are some rules with respect to other offers of other positions and that type of thing, but we're going to assume that your agency has gone through that process to determine whether you are eligible for another position. If in fact you do get severance pay, the way severance pay is paid out is it simply continues your pay for a certain number of weeks. There is a cap. It's 52 weeks. That would be an exorbitant amount of time that you've spent with the government, yet still didn't qualify for a pension. So this is unusual to have a super high severance, but something to at least consider. You may go through the severance calculation process to determine, is it better if you're involuntarily removed, or is it better if you voluntarily go under the visa? So doing the math might help inform that decision. Now, just as a reminder, severance pay is only available for employees who are not eligible for an immediate pension. And given the nature of this video, as far as the topic that we're covering, if you have less than 5 years of service, you don't have a pension at all, immediate or otherwise. And so this certainly would apply to you. If you decide to return back to work with the federal government, you are able to put the money back into the FERS program to regain all of your original credit, but you are not required to do so. Okay, so I hope that this has been helpful. If you want to stay connected with us and make sure that you're getting all of our updates and training resources specifically for federal employees, you can go pick up your phone, text the word podcast to 224-444-6144, and we will get that to you right away. You'll have access to all those resources, our workshops, webinars, podcasts, articles, all of those pieces to be able to help you on your retirement journey.